Amazing Spider-Man 700 is coming out, and they're turning it into Superior Spider-Man, so it's supposed to be someone totally different under the mask as Superior Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man number 700, and that ends, and then next month's going to be Superior Spider-Man number 1.
So, I got into an argument with the writer of this book last night, because I found out what happens in it. So, in Amazing Spider-Man 698... Here's the build up.
It's comic books. So
it's comic book stuff. So Dr. Octopus is dying of cancer.
I know nothing about this stuff.
No, that's what we're gonna enlighten you, but you can't question the shit that happens.
So Dr. Octopus is laying in a hospital dying of cancer, and he comes up with this kind of machine to swap brains with people. He already built it before he was, going. So he had this big elaborate plan to swipe bodies with Spider-Man. So Spider-Man's dead in his dying cancer body. So he does it, and Peter's stuck in this body and wearing down and dying slowly while Doc Ock's, going crazy and acting like Peter Parker. So, 699 was basically him, being Peter Parker.
And Peter trying to fight back and,
trying to get out of the body. 700, so I read it. And I hated it because they, I don't even have, do I have to say spoiler alert? Because it's already going to be out. We'll say spoiler alert if you haven't read Amazing Spider-Man 698 to whatever.
700.
I'll just tell you, don't read it. And,
because here is the triumphant end of the Spider-Man.
Spider-Man dies. Yeah.
Yep. And Peter Parker dies in Doc Ock's cancer body. No one knows about it.
And Peter Parker is now Doc Ock. And, before Peter Parker died, he got out of the prison with some help of some of the other Sinister Six members, goes to the Avengers mansion to ask for help and nobody's there, and then falls off the top of Avengers Tower and dies.
Yep.
So he's dead. And Doc Ock is now Superior Spider-Man number 1.
Because of his great intellect.
So before he died, he tells Doc Ock he wants him to be a Superior Spider-Man and be like Doc Ock's
is Doc Ock is he mean? Is he
crazy?
Well, kind of. Now, at the end of this book, he's like, I will be a better hero than Peter ever was. So, he has these true desires inside to be a hero, apparently.
Right.
Well, that was always kind of his thing. He was crazy, but it was always the betterment of man.
Like they did in the movie, how. So now he's Spider-Man.
So now he's going to hit with 5
So Doc Ock's Spider-Man. Yep. And he's going to fuck Mary Jane.
Yep. So, I was pretty pissed about it because a couple of years back, they did this thing called One More Day, which, if you knew me, years and years ago, I was hardcore Spider-Man. I was gonna get a Spider-Man tattoo. I even have a fucking Build-A-Bear Spider-Man here. I have everything Spider-Man. And, One More Day happens. Basically, in One More Day, Aunt May gets shot by someone who's trying to kill Spider-Man. So he goes to everybody he knows to try and get Aunt May out of her coma because she's dying. He goes to Doctor Strange, he goes to, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and all this stuff. No one can help him for some fucking reason. Tony Stark can fucking create a new element on the table, but he can't get a bullet out of Aunt May. It's fucking ridiculous. But anyway, I digress. So no one can help her, so he makes a deal with Marvel Universe's version of Satan. His name's Mephisto. You've probably seen the Hero Click. He's looks like the devil. He makes a deal with the devil. The devil says, I can bring your aunt back. All I want in return is for your marriage to be erased from existence. Your marriage from Mary Jane to be erased from existence. So random. So basically this was Marvel's way of turning Spider-Man young again. And I fucking hated it. My Spider-Man doesn't make deals with the devil. He would have Aunt May would have been let me go. That wasn't my Spider-Man in that book. So I've been telling people, since that happened, my Spider-Man's been dead. And I haven't been a fan, really, at all since that happened. I don't buy any, I still buy Amazing Spider-Man just because I'm trying to get them all. But now that 700's here and it's over, I think I'm done. I think this is it. 700. So I decided to go on Twitter and write Dan Slott, who's the writer of the book. He created the whole thing. And I was like, how much more can you do to this fucking character? He's supposed to be your flagship character. He's the star of all your movies. He's the face of Marvel. And what you did was you took everything that everybody loved about him, and you took it away from him. You broke everything, his core is gone. And then you put him in this fucking cancer-ridden body that's all broken and destroyed, and then he dies. It's the worst death ever for a superhero. And then before that, you just fucked him over for, the last 10 years. And I basically had it out with the writer. I was so mad when I read the spoiler. Like, you can tell I'm pissed off about it, because it's just, you ruined this whole fucking character, and that was my favorite character of all time, and you guys just fucking destroyed him. It's just sad. I don't even know if it's still here.
Did you think he deleted them?
He might have. He did. He deleted them.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They're gone. Like, my side's still going to be there. And I said, I'm a Spidey fan, man. Been there since the beginning. Seems like every big event doesn't enhance the character, it just ruins him. And I said, I respect what you did, and it took brass ones, but man, I can't be behind it. I have almost every single issue of Amazing, and this one will be my last. I should have dropped it after One More Day, but I kept up with it. I said, at least I love Spider Island. I said, I've been hurt too much. One more day, one moment in time, which kind of explained One More Day, and it was even worse. And now this. He was my favorite character, now he's gone, stripped away to nothing. I do respect what you did. It takes guts. I would never threaten you like other people do, and I don't know how they can do such things.
He's gotten death threats now.
I said, I just don't like it one bit. In all fairness, and that's when he was like, well, why did you tag me in it? And I said, in all fairness, I did both. Just hurts, that's all. You know? That was our back and forth conversation. He deleted his side.
Yeah.
But I retweeted a bunch of other people's responses. Someone said, at Dan Slott, Peter deserves so much better. I'm wishing for Mephisto or clones or something right now. It's driven me to drink, and then there's some alcohol. You know, it's just, people feel the same way. Now there's no Peter Parker in either the Marvel Universe or the Ultimate Universe now. He's just dead in both.
There is no more Peter Parker. I mean, the thing they could do, they're going to probably bring back that he's still in his own body, his mind is there somewhere. They'll do that, and he'll, like, have an internal battle with Doc Ock or some shit. I was actually, and again, maybe it'll happen, but when they mentioned a superior Spider-Man, I thought they were going to bring back Alpha to be Spider-Man. Because then they could do the whole, teenager learning his ways.
Sure, that's what I thought it was going to be.
And that, because, Alpha's kind of a dick. So it would kind of teach him to be the hero, and they could have a good storyline. But I could see him calling himself the superior Spider-Man because he's a dick.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they're going to make Dr. Octopus in Peter Parker's body be Spider-Man.
Yep.
But he's going to have a black costume now.
A black costume.
Well, it's black and red. Yeah, exactly.
Costume.
And basically, Dan Slott said when 698 came out that a story is because people freaked out when the whole brain switch happened at first because they were like, well, what the fuck, man? So Dan Slott released a statement that said, a story is a beginning, middle, and end in context. A story is in the telling, not in the second-hand recounting by others. If anyone put their mind to it, they could tell the world's worst beat-for-beat version of Citizen Kane or A Charlie Brown Christmas, and with very little effort, make them sound horrible. It's not that hard to do. Please do us a favor of reading the story as we intended it. Please look at this story with pages shown in their entirety instead of partially chopped and framed to highlight some dialogue, but leaving other parts out. Please let us tell you our story. It's a story I've wanted to tell for some time. It's a story we've seeded for 100 issues. This is not a fly-by-night gimmick or slap-together plan. This 3-part epic, and especially this final chapter, is my favorite story I've ever told in comics. And I hate to tell you, but I almost read the exact same statement when One More Day happened, too. That it wasn't just thrown together. But guess what? It's a fucking mess. It doesn't make any sense. So he makes the deal with the devil in One More Day. So his new reality starts, and he wakes up in Aunt May's house. So they took Parker, where he was successful, married, on his own with his wife, living with his wife, and brought him back down to living with Aunt May as an adult, living with his aunt again. And fucking Harry Osborn's back from the dead, And
I mean, because that was actually one of the cool things about the animated series was it still showed him married and,
sure,
having a life with Mary Jane.
The character needs to fucking progress. He can't just go back in time and go back to being a teenager while you're an adult. It just doesn't work. The thing that I like the most about Spider-Man is that I grew up with him. I watched the cartoon in '93. That's when I started to like Spider-Man. Was that cartoon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Yeah, and and they just took him and fucking destroyed everything I liked about him. Where I don't even like him anymore. It's like this character that's just there. He's still the same character when it comes to actions and stuff. But it seems like from where I liked him to One More Day was this one chunk of character that I loved. Like I loved this character. He's great. And then after One More Day, he was just like, oh, I'm living with Aunt May again, and it was like some other guy was playing the part of Peter Parker. It was like an actor changed its roles. Right. It would be like if Hugh Jackman wasn't Wolverine anymore. You know what I mean? And some other guy was playing Wolverine, you didn't like him. It's almost like what happened to me in Spider-Man.
Sean Penn as Wolverine.
God damn. It's pretty comparable to that. Because I don't like this guy. I don't like him. I don't care how much you get John Romita Jr. to come in and draw. It's not the same guy.